So, Bleacher Report just released an article from Greg Schwartz. Link will be in the description below. And it is talking about every team's top 3 trade targets right now. We're going to be reacting to that in this video. And before we get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are right now almost at 5.3k. We're at 5.28k, which is unbelievable. If we could somehow hit 5.3k by the end of the day, it would be insane. We're 13 subscribers off. But anyway, let's take a look at this. So for the Atlanta Hawks, Colin Sexton, Josh Green, and Dennis Schroeder. I kind of like Josh Green for length, but I'm like, I don't really know what Colin Sexton's going to bring too much to this team. Like, I think he'd be fine, like, but I don't really know what he would bring. Like, he need more playmaking, but we saw with Colin Sexton that doesn't really thrive beside another league guard, and like, I don't know about backup point guard, like, how much of a need there is for that. For me, I like Josh Green. He gives them more length. Gives them more athleticism, which is going to be interesting. I thought he was bigger than 6'5". And, yeah, he can shoot the lights out. Big loss for Dallas, in fairness. But the Hawks need a veteran point guard when Young needs a break. Schroeder might be a good player for that, especially if they're trying to trade him. But yeah, it would be it would be a decent one. I wouldn't mind them trying to play Dyson a bit at the 1. I wouldn't mind that, like, try to get his playmaking better. Boston Celtics, Javonte Green, Torrey Craig, and Patty Mills. Celtics don't need anything. Let's be real. The Celtics need absolutely nothing. The Celtics need to keep their trade target fairly modest because they're already above the second apron. Green's a versatile wing, making just over $2 million. They don't need anyone. They're not going to make a trade. Like, they don't need to make a trade. If you can get Patty Mills for nothing, get Patty Mills, I guess. But, like, that's it, I guess. The Brooklyn Nets, Jonathan Kuminga, Ousmane Dieng, and Maxence Prosper. I like Ousmane Dieng. I like Kuminga, but, like, what are you giving up for Kuminga? Nets should be targeting wings and move on from vets like Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, if you can somehow swing, like, Kuminga for Cam Johnson and maybe Kuminga and a pick for Cam Johnson. If the Warriors might make that trade. Dieng was 11th pick in 2022. I still think that Ousmane Dieng on a rebuilding team could be nice. I think he does have a lot of potential. But if they can get Kuminga, fair enough, make him the number 1 option. And then you can trade him in a couple of years when another team thinks he's better than he is, like with Mikal Bridges. You can maybe do that with Kuminga. The Charlotte Hornets, DeAndre Ayton, Nick Claxton, Clint Capella. So, center. I think DeAndre Ayton will be a nice one because he is on the market. Like, Mark Williams has barely played basketball. And if I was the Charlotte Hornets, hindsight 2020, as much as I like Tejan Salone, Donovan Clingan was there. And Donovan Clingan was there to take. Ayton should be available now to Portland selected Clingan. Ayton has put up double every single year and provide a strong pick and roll partner for LaMelo Ball. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Nick Claxton, I like Nick Claxton. I would go for Ayton. I love how they call him Dominating, even though that man is incredibly soft, regardless of what he looks like. I would very much go with Ayton of those 3. Capella might not be a bad one, but I don't think the Hawks are going to try to get off Clint Capella. Maybe not this year anyway. The Chicago Bulls, Walker Kessler, Nick Claxton, and Isaiah Stewart. Walker Kessler's price is high, though. 2 first-round picks. The Bulls are stuck in the middle of a youth movement, trying to get off Vucevic. Problem is like, you're not going to be able to get off Vucevic in that. I like Walker Kessler. The problem with Walker Kessler is that, like, the Nick Claxton deal is a steal. And or Stewart isn't a good defender. I mean, Isaiah Stewart brings toughness. That would be an interesting one. But I like Walker Kessler as a player. I think his price is too high from Utah. The Cavs select getting Dorian Finney-Smith, the part owner of Leeds United, Larry Nance Jr., and Cody Martin. I don't rate Cody Martin as a player, just in general. I like Dorian Finney. I think Dorian Finney-Smith is a floor raiser anywhere, and I think he could fit into any team. So I do think Dorian Finney-Smith will be a pretty good player to have off the bench for that team. And if someone's out to come in as a starter, like I think he's better than like a Dean Wade and stuff. So, like, yeah, I don't mind. I really don't mind that. Dallas Mavericks, Cam Johnson. There is no way the Dallas Mavericks... Who do they have the assets? They don't have the assets to get Cam Johnson, do they? Slow start for PJ Washington. I mean, he's been better without Luka. Could cause Mavs to explore upgrading at power forward. Shooting is necessity. Cam Johnson's averaging 18.1. But like, how are they going to... What are they going to trade for these players? John Collins. In fairness, John Collins might be available just because he's worth less. But like, maybe the Wizards are trying to get off Kuzma because Kuzma seems to be... I don't even know how to describe what Kuzma's been for the Wizards. But Cam Johnson. If you can get Cam Johnson, get Cam Johnson. Any team in the league, if you can get Cam Johnson at this stage. The Denver Nuggets, Bogdan, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Micic. Micic, he was terrible. I thought he was terrible in the Olympics, in fairness. I wouldn't mind Micic as a backup point guard. Like, if you can get him for nothing, fair enough. Because he can at least do something. But I thought he was terrible in the Olympics. Bogdanovic would be class. Obviously, Serbian. If Bogdanovic would be my first like goal, because Bogdanovic playing with Nikola Jokic could turn Bogdanovic into the best sixth man in the entire NBA. I'm not joking with that. Like, he's probably becomes the best sixth man. That would be an incredible pickup if you can put Bogdan with Jokic. Because Bogdan can find Jokic well. I did not think Micic was good in the Olympics. I did not like him in the Olympics at all. I wouldn't make that trade. And again, Dorian Finney-Smith's one of those guys where if you're looking to compete for a championship and he's available, you want to get him. Detroit Pistons, Brandon Ingram, Brogdon, and Schroeder. I wouldn't mind Brandon Ingram if I was them. Like, problem is you have to pay him. And I don't know if you want to pay him. But if you're Detroit, a lot of people are like, oh, Detroit should go back into tanking. When you've been tanking for as long as Detroit have, you just want to make a play-in. Make a play-in. You're going to get a lottery pick. Just make the play-in. Win 35 games. It'll be your best season in a long, long time. And there's something to look forward to in Detroit, especially after 28 straight losses last year. The Warriors, Giannis, Ingram, and DeLon Wright. How different can you get? You've got second best player in the world. Pretty good, borderline all-star level player. DeLon Wright. The Warriors could attack trade deadline in a number of ways, either by using Kuminga and picks chasing all-star, simply by adding another guard to offset the loss of DeAnthony Melton. That was a tough loss for the Warriors. Warriors made a call about LeBron James. There's no reason to believe they won't pursue trade for Giannis. Milwaukee Bucks are not trading Giannis Antetokounmpo during the season. They might trade him after the season. They are not trading him during the season. There's a 0% chance of that. Of these three, you might get DeLon Wright. But like they're not going to go for Brandon Ingram either. The Rockets. Dame? This was 4 hours ago. They're on like a 4 or 5 game win streak or something, Milwaukee. Trae Young? Marcus Smart. Cool. I wouldn't mind taking Marcus Smart. Swapping Fred VanVleet and some incentives for Lillard could be win-win as the 8-time All-Star can help ignite an offense. They're not going... Like, what incentives? Like, they're going to have to get off some of their young players, but not now. Not now. He said he wouldn't break up the young core for Giannis. Why would you do it for Dame? Why? The Pacers, Jonas Valanciunas, Larry Nance, Drew Eubanks. They need front court depth. I get it. Wait, Isaiah Jackson tore his Achilles as well. Like, James Wiseman's career is over, by the way. Like, if you snap your Achilles and you're a player that the only thing you have is your athleticism, your career is done. Let's be completely honest here. Like, his career is done completely. Nance, a versatile three-point shooting big, always makes the right play, and Eubanks should be readily available. I mean, not the most exciting trades in the world, but, like, they'll do the job, I guess. The Clippers getting Zach LaVine, Kuz, or Brandon Ingram. Like, what? Like, Norman Powell's been pretty good. I don't think I'd make that trade. I wouldn't make any of those trades if I was the Clippers. The Lakers, an interesting one. Dame Lillard, LaMelo Ball. How in God's name do you think you're going to get LaMelo Ball? And Jonas Valanciunas? Whatever about Jonas Valanciunas. How do you actually think you're going to get LaMelo Ball? Or Dame? 10-4 start to the season, but doesn't seem team still doesn't have the firepower to go head to head with the team like the Nuggets, the Thunder, and others come playoff time. Getting an all-star like Lillard or Ball to play alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis will preserve the latitude for the playoffs, as both afford to pay. Both have been forced to play over 35 minutes a night. Explain to me how you would get LaMelo Ball. Dalton Connect is 23 years old and averaging 10 points per game. Dalton Connect is older than LaMelo Ball. Like, oh, we got this young rookie in Dalton Connect. He's older than LaMelo Ball. I repeat, Dalton Connect is older than LaMelo Ball. So who else do you have? Austin Reeves. You don't have that many picks. Like, this would be, like, how? Explain to me. Whoever wrote, like, the guy who wrote this article, explain to me how they are meant to get LaMelo Ball. How are they meant to get him? They might be able to get Valanciunas. The Grizzlies, Jeremy Grant, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Jeremy Grant would be a nice one. But, like, again, has he really been other than good stats, bad team guy since since Denver? Miami getting Dame now? How? Like, how? Explain to me how you can get. The roster lacks a true floor general with Tyler Hero and Terry Rozier. How are you meant to get Dame Lillard without giving up Terry Rozier? Or say without giving up Tyler Hero? Like, explain to me how you get Damian Lillard to Miami without giving up Tyler Hero. Brandon Ingram, again, what would you give? Like, you don't have the assets to them, and the Spurs are not getting rid of Chris Paul. We all know what Chris Paul can do for young guards. They're not getting rid of Chris Paul when Stephon Castle is there, and they're not getting rid of him when Wemby's there. Milwaukee Bucks trying to get Tyler Hero. With what? Dame? If the Bucks entertain a Dame Lillard trade, okay. Basically a Dame for Hero, effectively that type of trade. Swapping Middleton and some young talent for Grant. What? That doesn't help Milwaukee at all. It's the most lateral move I think I've ever seen. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Patty Mills, Torian Prince, Javonte Green. They're still not going to be good with any of those moves. The Pelicans, Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, and Vucevic. Why would you trade for Miles Turner when you are probably tanking? Like, Eve Misi has been thrown into the fire. Injury to Pelicans, although a minus 10.3 swing rate, was Jesse's not ready starting job. Of course he's not. Turner and Lopez are ideal front court pairings next to Zion Williamson. Zion's nowhere close to being healthy. This team is literally going to be out of playoff contention. They're in the West. Why would you trade? What are you going to have to give up? You're going to have to give up probably Trey Murphy or Herb Jones to get Miles Turner. Why would you trade? What can you give up for Brook Lopez that would make Milwaukee basically give up their only center? Then we have got the New York Knicks. Nick Richards, Daniel Tice, Drew Eubanks. Yeah, they do need a big, in fairness. But again, why would Charlotte give up? Why would they give up one of their only centers? If I was them, I would still look to see what you can do with getting Walker Kessler. If there's any way of finding a way to get him. The OKC Thunder, Giannis, Chris Paul, and Schroeder. I'd bring Chris Paul back. There is no way, again, Milwaukee are not trading Giannis midseason. Bringing one of Chris Paul or Schroeder back would be nice. Like, maybe bring the two of them back. Try trade for both of these guys and get the band back together. Orlando Magic, CJ McCollum. I think CJ McCollum, I'm surprised to see his name not come up yet. Like, if they're going to be as bad as I think they're going to be, he should be available. Turner Bleak for Paolo Banchero has hurt their offense. In fairness, they've gotten better with Franz, but Anthony Simons, I mean, they're surely going to have to get off him at some stage, so not the worst thing in the world. The Philadelphia 76ers, Dorian Finney-Smith, Santi Aldama, and Cody Martin. Depends on how bad they're going to be, honestly. If they're awful, it's like trade Paul George and trade Embiid. But it really just depends on how good or bad they are. I really like Santi Aldama as a player, though. So if any team can get Santi Aldama, he makes your team better. The Phoenix Suns, Isaiah Stewart, Gary Trent, Torian Prince. I like Isaiah Stewart for them, but I don't think Detroit are going to give him up for nothing. And you're also, again, the most $419 million. Jesus Christ, Matt Ishbia, what are you doing? Portland Trailblazers, Kuminga, Usman Jang, Josh Green. Obviously trying to rebuild. It'll be an interesting one, I guess, but you're going to probably move Ayton, maybe. And what team wants Ayton? The Thunder might want Ayton, maybe? I don't know. The Hornets definitely want Ayton. If you can get like Josh Green and a pick for DeAndre Ayton, that's not the worst thing in the world. And the Sacramento Kings, like, they're not giving up Chris Paul. There's no way the Spurs are giving up Chris Paul. Matisse Thybulle, I like him as a defender, not a good scorer, but Dorian Finney-Smith makes every team better. The San Antonio Spurs, Santi Aldama would be a great fit for the Spurs. I just really like Santi Aldama. Getting Colin Sexton, I don't know, and Simons. I wouldn't bring in a starting guard, though. Like, if I was them, I wouldn't bring in a starting guard because at the end of the day, you've got Stephon Castle who you want to be your guard, and you're going to be a play-in team this year, and you should be fine being a play-in team. The Raptors need a big. Again, they're a tanking team. You're tanking. There makes no odds. You are trying to lose games. Do not make a mid-season trade. The Utah Jazz, what is Cam Thomas? Why would you trade for Cam Thomas? Man's a generational shot chucker. How the hell are you going to get Jabari Smith? Give up this year's pick? Give up this year's pick. That's the only way you're getting Jabari Smith. There's no way. And I get it. Like, Jabari Smith, they kind of have to get off one of their young guys. But you're giving up probably this year's pick to get Jabari Smith. And then the Washington Wizards getting Nikola Jovic. Again, are you going to give them Kuz? Getting Jovic in a Kuz trade would be nice, though. Kuminga, Whitmore, so it's just obviously all getting players for the tankathon. But, yeah, that is pretty much it. Shout out to Bleacher Report. And also, like, how the hell, I just need to say this before we end the video. How the hell did they think the Lakers are meant to get LaMelo Ball? Genuinely, how did they think, like, give up AD or LeBron?